Hi and welcome back to Podpadstudios. So as you can see, empty bench. The 155 SPGH Ditta, I'm pronouncing it right now, or as we used to call it, the Dana project, is pretty much finished. It's in the workshop at the moment, so it's in there because I can potter and, you know, do different things on it. So I'm adding things like antennas. I'm working on the paint to weather it a little bit more. I did do a bit of testing on it, and I will get some video done of that testing a bit later on. It's really, really good, but it does need to be put through its paces just to make sure that, you know, the where I 3D printed the wheels at the back, it will actually hold up to all that. And I think the speed controller, given that it's a dual motor design, is pretty good on that as well. So that's where I'm at on that one. And then that is going to go out for the first time in October to the REME Model and Engineering Show, which is kind of nearby where we are here. It's in a place called Lynham, which is just outside Swindon. So if you want to go and have a look at that one. Plus you will see the fire engine as well. Now, lots of things have happened. As you can see, I'm working on another project in the background. Can't really show you much about that project at the moment because it's not really for me, it's actually for somebody else. But it's very similar based on the tank that we did. If you remember, right back now when I did my tank, the base on that tank was awesome, and to be honest, it's very, very similar, but it'll have a different kind of top and everything on it, but you probably won't see that until the people that have it decide they want to put it out on social media and whatever. But yeah, so that's really good. However, it's inspired me because I kind of have been doing that relatively fast. It's inspired me for a new build. And what's the new build going to be? Right, well, I actually thought I wanted to build one of these for a while, but they're really difficult to build because you need to scale these things down is actually quite difficult. But what I'm going to do is show you a picture, and then I'll give you an idea of what it is that I am going to build. As you can see, all starts off here with lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of pieces of paper. I'm going to build one of them. In fact, I'm going to come around here and I'm going to hold it in front of the camera. Look, I'm going to build a bulldozer. So it's going to be 1/6 scale to go with all the other bits and pieces. And I might do, this is the D9, the D9 bulldozer, which has got the high lift track, or the high lift drive on the track. There's a military version of that as well, which has got all this armour and weaponry and guns and all that. I might do that one, or I might do that one. It's the same bulldozer, to be perfectly honest, except that's just got armour on it and that hasn't, and that's yellow and that isn't. So yeah, now what's going to be different about this build is the track system is going to be my tried and tested. The motors are a bit kind of stupidly overkill, but I want it to be powerful. I think my biggest problem that I'm going to run into with this build is not the power of the motors, it's going to be the size of the speed controller that I'm going to have to put on it. I'm not sure my usual Cytron or Sabertooth speed controllers are going to work on this because my motors are coming in at about 850 watts at 24 volts per motor per side. That's going to give me a significant amount of power with this thing. It's quite a big build. I mean, it's 1.5 meters long by 70 centimeters high. So to give you an idea, I mean, that's 1.4 meters is that big in terms of from there to there. I know it's impossible to see it on a camera, but and the height from the bench is what, 70 centimeters. So this is it's quite a big build. Weight-wise is going to be important. I want it to be able to push things. So, you know, it'll probably be one of the heaviest things I've actually created to date. All with recycled materials. And I'll pan the camera around in a minute and I'll show you what I've been gathering ready to do this. Yeah, so weight-wise, I don't want it to exceed 250 kilos. But I think we're aiming for probably a 200 kilo build plus on this one. Because it needs the weight. If it's going to push things, as a bulldozer does, it's going to push it needs the weight. One of the biggest problems is going to be all of these linear actuators, these things that lift and lower the blade, and the big, you know, the big hook on the back of the bulldozer, because they've got this like huge hook. And I'm going to experiment for the first time with hydraulics. Now, I haven't done hydraulics before because I understand the principles behind it, but it's a lot of experimentation. And in the past, I've it's very easy to waste money, but I feel I'm in a better place now and in understanding the loads and the forces that I need to put through these things to actually get this to work properly. And I'm not sure I can do it with linear actuators. I might be able to do it with linear actuators, but I mean, we will see. We will see whether the linear actuators will be up to it. The beauty of these kind of thing, it's not like the tanks. These don't go very fast, these things, and it's about the force and it's about the power that you put into these sections. But anyway, that's going to be the next build. I'm going to start on the track system first and then gradually work my way up. And I'm going to use exactly the same track construction that I used on that and I used on the first tank because it just works. It works brilliantly. So it doesn't take me long to make those tracks. As I said, I'll show you some of the bits and pieces in a moment to give you an idea of how it's done. But yeah, so that's that. I bought myself a rivet gun as well, look, first time. So I can actually plug it all in now. And basically, we can actually start to use some of the aluminium sheeting. And instead of, what I found with the Dana that was really, really good with the Dana, which I didn't do on the truck and I didn't do on the tank, and I did on the fire engine to a degree. On the Dana, I welded everything on. So all of the handles, everything was all welded. Whereas on the tank and on the tank transporter, a lot of the handles and the smaller details were glued on. Pros and cons, whatever. But, with the rivet gun now, I can actually connect things. I connect the aluminium into it as well. So that's that. Anyway, I'll show you some of the raw materials for this one. In terms of timescale, it's kind of my winter project really. I've got another project that we're just about to start, but I'm not going to tell you about that yet. That's going to be a little bit of a secret until I can actually get out to a space to get that done. And also, the other thing that I was talking about, which I've started, is this, which of course is the beginning of the trailer system for the Dana. So this is going to be the linkage system. I've created kind of a universal joint system here that will fit into the Dana. And then obviously I've managed to source some really, really good wheels. These are excellent, which is exactly the same ones I've used on the Dana. And of course there'll be 6 of those at the back on the trailer system. And it's kind of I'll show you that in videos a bit later on. It's kind of a trailer missile system that sits behind it. But there's also an option if I wanted to create a transporter system, which I actually could be interesting. I could move this around on it, but I have got the other tank transporter to move that. So, yeah. Right, so that is where we're at with that. I'll show you some of the raw materials that we're going to use. Right, so as you can see here, loads and loads and loads of shelving, metal shelving, actually going back, loads of it. So I'm going to have the steel to do the bulldozer. It's going to be really good. Also, as you can see previously, look, holes in all of this. This is all the offcuts that are basically left over from the Dana. So ultimately, we produce the Dana with 100% recycled materials in terms of, the bodywork, the metal, the structure, which was amazing. So the bulldozer is going to be the same, but because now we've got the metal, it's going to be really, really, really good to do this. So that kind of gives you an idea. Lots of junk, lots of stuff to work with. Should be really good fun. Keep following the builds. Right, as well as the basically the new projects that I've just been talking about, we have old projects. Although she doesn't like me talking about her being old because she's not old at all. But she's got some new updates and they're quite interesting. So I think we talked about this before, but we never actually showed you this. So obviously she can kind of raise and lower her shoulders like she does normally, right? You will notice that she's got some new... That's a motorcycle going past. Some appendages, as you can see. Now I'll leave them open actually like that at the moment. And I'm going to kind of show you what we can actually do. Look, we can now move her guns. and we can move it all independently. So she can do different things, she can track. Now at the moment I'm just doing this, but very, very soon this will all be programmed, so she will have full control and movement over her gun systems. And obviously then we can still bring all these in, we can track inwards, outwards. There's complete control now. Whereas before with the old guns, they were just kind of rotating Gatling guns and that's all they did. They didn't do anything else. Now, really what makes Tiffany Tiffany is, well, it's got to be this, isn't it? So
deactivated.
Here we go.
Armed. Guns firing.
Got to let her warm up a bit. She's been out here. She's a bit cold.
Guns firing. Guns firing.
As you can see, when she gets warmed up, she does all right. I'm not sure about cleaning it all afterwards though, because obviously she's going to get a little bit soggy, but I don't know. Maybe we need a self-cleaning system. But, of course, the beauty of that is we can move all this stuff around as well. So Tiffany has new bubble guns. So I'm enjoying sitting here at the beach at the moment. This is Mrs. Breaker is doing this, by the way. She thinks she's no good at painting, but I think it looks pretty good to me.
Well, while I was on holiday, I'd done a few little sketches of the sea. In fact, we had a great time on the Isle of Wight. As you can see, the sea was absolutely beautiful, the colours were beautiful. I love this one with the rocks and the samphire growing there. And then Master Maker's favourite was when we were on the beach at Osborne House, and you could see all the boats in the background. They looked like little sharks, you know, circling the bathers. It was great fun. So he said to me, why don't you draw that on this wall? No pressure, no pressure. Anyway, thought I'd have a go. Don't know how it's going to turn out. But what I got to do is, and if you can see this back here, cameraman, I measured the wall and I've done a little scale drawing, 1 to 200, just so we could see what it would look like. I'm going to use the pebbles at the back, the natural pebbles. I'm going to put the rocks up here. I'm going to walk to the wall now. Started doing a bit of sketching. Put the rocks up here. I'm going to put the sea level and the land, which was all Portsmouth behind, Portsmouth and Southampton, and then I'm going to put the rocks in there. Haven't decided yet whether I'm going to put any of the people in, because they will be there forever. I'm not sure what they're going to look like come different seasons, but I can't wait to start painting the sea. See how it goes on. Come and see us in Open Studios. Give me a mark out of 10.
Anyway, as I said, we've got all these things. We've got loads more that we're actually going to be doing on Tiffany as well. So you've got to keep watching this space. Tiffany's little bubble guns are just the first part of her new kind of look. We've changed the actual set for Tiffany. Kind of when she goes out, she does a kind of a show and all sort of stuff. We've changed all that. The new object recognition systems we put on Tiffany are going to allow us to do so much more with the autonomous nature of what she can actually do. As I said, Bulldozer I'm going to be working on over the next few weeks now. It's going to be a little bit like my winter project. One little update as well. You know, obviously we've done a number of Batmobiles over the years. Well, we might actually be doing another one, which might be interesting. Fancy doing something a little bit different with this one. A little bit more of a kind of race car kind of Batmobile. Also based on the comic book, one of the comic book Batmobiles, not one of the film Batmobiles, because everybody kind of knows the film Batmobiles, and sometimes they can get a little bit boring. Thought we could have a look at something a little bit different. Some of, you know, once you delve into the comic books, some of the drawings, some of the ideas for the Batmobiles have just been awesome. So we're thinking about, well, we're not thinking about, we're going to be doing one of those. So I don't know what the order it's going to be, whether it's all going to be happening at the same time, or whether we're going to get the Bulldozer done and then work on the next thing. I don't know. I don't know. But right now I'm going to enjoy the sun. Although a giant big black cloud has just come overhead. Which, yeah. Well, anyway. See you later.